My greetings to everyone. I am Professor Dr. Namita Rajput, Professor in Department of Commerce, Sri Aurobindo College, University of Delhi. So in our ongoing series of Art of Being Happy, which is a value addition course for the entire universities, today we will be talking on understanding happiness in the Indian context, in which we will be covering the happiness at its relevance in India, the cultural perspectives on happiness in India, the historical and philosophical views on happiness in the Indian culture, the impact of traditional festivals and celebrations in the happiness, the role of work and job satisfaction in Indian happiness, the mental health and the well-being in the Indian context, and followed by the influence of media and the social media on the happiness. The last and the foremost part which we will cover in today's lecture is the sustainable lifestyles and the environmental well-being in India, the government initiatives and how they are responsible for enhancing the happiness. So let us start with the happiness and its relevance in India. The fundamental human feeling, happiness, is incredibly important to India's rich cultural diversity. The quest of happiness has its roots that are firmly planted in the India's way of life, which is woven together from a rich tapestry of cultures and the values. Happiness and the comprehensive well-being are frequently entwined in a nation where the importance of spirituality, community, and the family ties are paramount. India offers a wealth of knowledge to develop the satisfaction from antiquated ideologies like Vedanta and Buddhism to the contemporary techniques like yoga and mindfulness. Now, due to the nation's rapid socio-economic transitions, the happiness has a greater relevance in the modern India. The concept of happiness changes along with the nation's urbanization, technical progress, and growing goals. Although the monetary advancement is desired and there is a growing understanding that the true happiness transcends materialism, a full life is increasingly seen as requiring a balance between the employment and the family, the good mental health and the social cohesiveness. Now, in conclusion, happiness in India encompasses the connection and the peaceful coexistence with oneself, society, and the environment in addition to the personal satisfaction. Recognizing the complex nature of the pleasure becomes essential for maintaining a harmonious and prosperous community as India moves along the path of the progress. Let us now dwell into the cultural perspectives on happiness in India. The various traditions and the philosophies of India are strongly ingrained in its cultural viewpoints on happiness. The Hinduism Sukh notion, which denotes both material and the spiritual well-being, is one of the most prominent ideas. The inner peace is supposedly attained by the pursuit of dharma, that is rightness, and the karma, that is the activity. Now, similar to this, Buddhism places a strong emphasis on the eightfold path, which emphasizes the mental fortitude and compassion. The relationships and the community are highly valued in India's collectivist culture, reflecting the notion that communal happiness improves the personal well-being. The Holi and Diwali, they are the two festivals that honor the harmony, joy, and the victory of good over the evil. In addition, the techniques like meditation, yoga, Ayurveda, nurture a balance between the mind, body, and soul. The globalization and the urbanization have presented the opportunity and the obstacles for the quest of the pleasure in the contemporary India. In order to balance out the growth in the material goals, there is a renaissance of interest in the old knowledge. Now, in general, India's cultural viewpoints on happiness emphasize the significance of the inner harmony, selflessness, and the spiritual development as essential elements of a happy existence. The historical and the philosophical views on happiness in Indian culture. Now, in depth, the philosophical and the spiritual viewpoints have affected India's idea of happiness throughout its history. According to ancient philosophies like Vedanta, which descended from the Vedas, achieving a self-realization, that is Atman, and realizing one's true essence will bring to ultimate happiness. The Buddhism, which has its roots in India, places a strong emphasis on a notable eightfold path, which includes mindfulness, moral behavior, and compassion as the essential elements. To promote the inner serenity and the contentment, Jainism also promotes the self-control and non-violence, that is ahimsa. Indian philosophy, foundational text, the Bhagavad Gita, talks on duty, that is dharma, selflessness, arguing that true happiness derives from carrying out the obligations without attachment to the results. People like Mahatma Gandhi have advocated for simplicity, truth, and the social justice in more recent times to foster the happiness. For the overall well-being, Swami Vivekananda emphasized the need for the spiritual and the material equilibrium. Now, collectively, these historical and the philosophical perspectives emphasize that finding the true contentment and the meaning in the life comes from realizing one's role in the world, living morally, and letting go of the worldly attachments. Now, let us do the impact of the traditional festivals and the celebrations on happiness. This is especially true in India, a rich nation in the cultural diversity and exuberant celebrations, where the traditional festivals and the celebrations, they have a significant positive influence on encouraging the pleasure amongst the culture. These events are more than just the rituals. They have a big impact on conserving the cultural history, fortifying the social ties, creating the times of joy and the harmony. Diwali, also known as the Festival of Lights, is one of the most well-known holidays and represents the victory of light over the evils and the darkness. Lighting the candles and setting off the fireworks not only celebrates the triumph of the positive but also fosters a spirit of joy amongst the neighbors. The families gather to exchange the gifts, have the meals together, and pray together, fostering a sense of community that supports the emotional well-being. Holi, the celebration of colors, welcome the spring by encouraging the camaraderie among the people, similar to how Eid, Christmas, and other religions' holidays provide the communities with a chance to unite, deepen the friendships, and perform the deeds of kindness that adds to a sense of fulfillment. Navaratri and the Durga Puja serves as a perfect examples of how the cultural expression and the spiritual devotion may coexist. Now, these kind of celebrations, they features a lively dancing, music and the art forms that not only honor the deities but also offer a forum for individual expression, enhancing the happiness. Now, these celebrations have an effect on the mental health as well. Participating in the festival rituals and activities frequently reduces the happy feelings, eases a tension, and provides a vacation from everyday life. They encourage the general pleasure by serving as a reminder of the value of striking a balance between the work and the leisure. Finally, India's traditional festivals and the events, they create a rich tapestry of happiness and commemorate and the cultural pride. Beyond their, the theoretical significance, they generate a sense of happiness by promoting the interpersonal relationships, valuing the creativity and creating a shared blissful movements. Now, these events provide as evidence of the significant contribution that the cultural heritage makes to improve the standard of living and general well-being in societies. Now, the role of the work and the job satisfaction in Indian happiness. In India, work and job satisfaction are very crucial factors in determining the general happiness. In a nation with a developing economy and a diversified labor force, the kind of work people do has a big impact on their well-being. Individual happiness is directly impacted by job satisfaction, which is demonstrated by a sense of success, positive connection with the co-workers and a supportive work environment, higher levels of job engagement and the overall life happiness. It results when the people feel significance in fulfillment of their work. The Indian environment does, however, also pose some difficulties, longer working hours, intense competition, and more stress are the results of rapid urbanization and the goal of monetary achievement. Better work-life balance and the mental health support are now necessary because overworking frequently has a negative impact on happiness and the quality of life. Additionally, the informal sector, which makes up the sizable section of the Indian workforce, it frequently struggles with the problem like job instability, the lack of benefits, which have an effect on both job satisfaction and the general happiness. In an effort to address these issues, the government has promoted the entrepreneurship, the skill development, better labor laws, the companies expanding the focus on employee well-being and the mental health. They also reflects a growing understanding of the relationship between the work and the happiness. So, happiness in India is closely entwined with the work and job satisfaction. A work environment that promotes the meaningful engagement, the work-life balance and the mental well-being is vital for enhancing the satisfaction and promoting a holistic development in the country's economic growth journey. Let us now talk about the mental health and the well-being in the Indian context. Given the size of the Indian population, the diversity of its culture and the rapid changes to its economic environment, the mental health and the well-being are critical features of the Indian context. While ancient techniques like yoga, meditation, and the Ayurveda have long been important for preserving the mental health, today's problem have also made mental health issues more visible. The necessity of addressing the mental health has been acknowledged by the Indian government and the other non-governmental organizations. The goal of the program, like the National Mental Health Program, is to make the mental health services available and affordable nationwide. So, in addition, public personalities and the celebrities who freely discuss their problems with the mental illness have contributed to lowering the stigma and increasing the awareness. However, there is a substantial disparity between the need for and the supply of the mental health treatments, particularly in the rural areas. The cultural norms, a lack of qualified specialists, and the limited resources continue to be obstacles. And of course, a comprehensive strategy that incorporates the awareness campaign, destigmatization initiatives, improved funding for the mental health infrastructure, and the incorporation of the mental health education into the workplaces and the schools is necessary to solve these problems. And it is very important, and it is also impossible to exaggerate the value of accessible services, the family acceptance, and community support in promoting a psychologically healthy society. Now, coming on to the Indian perspectives, the India's mental health and the well-being are at very critical point, with traditional methods still having a positive impact. The modern life dynamics necessitates a holistic approach to address the mental health issues, improve the access to care, and foster a society that values and supports the mental health. Now, the influence of the media and the social media on happiness. The happiness in the modern Indian society is greatly influenced by media, influencing and including the traditional means like television and print, as well as the widespread power of the social media. Media has the power to inform, educate, and entertain, but it also have a variety of negative effects on the happiness. Now, traditional media frequently uses success stories, aspirational lifestyles, and material affluence to shape the public conceptions of the happiness. While this can encourage the people to work towards their objectives, it might also result in low self-esteem and unhappy people because of unrealistic expectations and feeling of inadequacy. On the other hand, the social media provides a platform unlike any other for connecting with others, sharing the experiences and the self-expression. Now, through carefully selected and idealized content, it can yet also produce a false impression of reality. Constantly seeing how others appear to have it all together can cause the social comparison, which can result in anxiety and a reduced sense of self-worth. Additionally, the quick dissemination of the information via social media can actually increase the stress and the unhappiness by exposing the people to unfavorable news and the events that are out of their control. So people must develop the media literacy, the critical thinking skills, and the capacity to differentiate between the reality and the media representations in order to fully realize the good potential of the media for the happiness. a healthier relationship with the media can be fostered by balancing an online contact with an offline relationship and partaking in worthwhile activities outside from the digital world. Now, by encouraging, uplifting the content, ethical reporting, and the activities that advance the well-being, the media outlets, especially the social media platforms, can also play a part. So we can say that India's happiness is significantly influenced by media, social media, offering the inspiration and the connection, but also presenting the challenges due to the skewed perceptions and overwhelming exposure to the negative material. Balancing these effects and developing the media literacy can actually improve the overall well-being. Let us now discuss a very important aspect of sustainable lifestyle and environmental well-being in India. In India, a country struggling with the growing urbanization, population expansion, resources shortages, sustainable lifestyles are very essential for encouraging the environmental well-being. Now, such ways of living include the decisions and the actions that promote both the individual and the communal well-being while reducing their negative effects on the environment. India's rich cultural past places an emphasis on the thrift, simplicity, peaceful interaction with the natural world. Now, these values are in line with the sustainable living, which includes cutting back on the wastage, then preserving the resources and implementing the eco-friendly habits. Now, the ecosystem, the preservations and the lower carbon footprints are made possible through the sustainable consumer habits, such as buying organic and locally sourced foods. Collective actions are needed to address the environmental issues like air, water pollution, deforestation, climate change. Sustainable lifestyles urge people to use the renewable energy sources, minimize the use of single-use plastic, and adopt the greener models of the transportation. Additionally, sustainable living has a direct impact on the health and the happiness. The physical and the mental health results are improved by the cleaner air, healthier diets, and access to the green areas. Activities that promote a sense of community and the social well-being include the gardening, cycling, and taking part in the neighborhood cleanup initiatives. The national commitment to environmental well-being is highlighted by the government programs like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, that is, the Clean India campaign, and the policies favoring the renewable energy. The campaigns for the education and awareness also aids in promoting the sustainable lifestyle choices. So in India, adopting the sustainable lifestyles is the key to achieve the environmental well-being. To sum up, individuals can contribute to the preservation of the earth while also boosting their personal well-being and that of the future generations by integrating the cultural values with the contemporary eco-friendly practices. The government initiatives and the policies for enhancing the happiness needs a special mention. The Indian government has launched the numerous policies and the programs to address the various facets of life because it understands how important it is to increase the residents' happiness and the well-being. Now, these programs cross numerous industries and aim to raise the social inclusion, general quality of life, and sustainable development. The first is the Program for National Mental Health. It is one of the initiatives of the government which has started to combat the mental health programs, and it seeks to eliminate the stigma associated with the mental illness and promote a well-being by taking accessible and inexpensive mental health services available across the nation. The second is your Clean India campaign or Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which also raises the national drive for cleaning, sanitation, and also raises the residential satisfaction levels and the overall quality of life. Next we have is the initiatives for the skill development and employment government programs. Through this, there is economic and the social empowerment which leads to the people's sense of well-being and the happiness. Next we have is the Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Bharat Arogya Jana Yojana. So here in this health insurance program aims to provide access to high quality treatment while offering the financial security against unexpectedly high medical cost. It also ensures that the people have the chance to live healthier lives, which has a good effect on their general happiness. Then we have the India's digital economy. So this particular economy also promotes the well-being. And then we have the National Skill Development Mission. That is, the goal of this object is to provide residents with the knowledge and abilities necessary for employment, entrepreneurship, and the financial development. So through its engagement, encouragement of independence and empowerment, it is consistent with the idea of well-being. So similarly, the last we are going to discuss is a Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, that is PMJDY. The goal of this program on the financial inclusion is to guarantee that all households can use the banking services. So financial empowerment, stress reduction for citizens have a positive effect on their general happiness. So it is important to be happy. So let's all pledge together to go into inner self and be happy. Thank you so much.